Hello, Jacksonville, Florida. That is not a misprint. 392% increase in the amount of homes that are in the foreclosure status of the active listings up here in Northeast Florida's MLS. Holy cow. Hey, I'm Tom Kerr and I'm your host of this show, Bubba Watch, where I look at these real numbers in real estate, and these are real numbers and I'm going to prove it to you tonight. In fact, tonight I'm going to be covering in this video all of this. In the MLS, I'll be looking at the active, solds, under contract, withdrawals, expired, new homes, condos, and foreclosure. The rates, I'm going to go over the conventional rates, the FHA and VO over the past week. Graphs, we're going to look at the price per square foot, the inventory, median price, and days on the market in Jacksonville. And I'm going to put all this in an Excel spreadsheet that's easy for you to read after we dissect all these numbers. I've got a question of the week where I take from a buyer or seller and I bring it on the air here and answer it. Houses of the week, I show examples of homes that sold below list and a house that sold above list, which look into what they paid for it and look at the appreciation. And I also may share a headline or two with you. Buckle up, because this show is information overload. Hey, you know what? I'm just a regular guy who happens to be a real estate agent up here in North Florida, and because of that, I have an MLS account, and I share that every week. We go into the back end. So let's go right now and start off with those active listings in the Northeast Florida MLS. All right, here I am in the back end of the Northeast Florida MLS, and we are in week 43. So what we're going to look at first is those active listings. Now, active listings are the ones that is basically your inventory. And up here right now, we have 7,619. Okay, that's available inventory. Next, I'm going to take a look at what sold in the last 7 days. Okay, last 7 days, how many closed? That number is 556. Next thing I look at is active under contract. Now, these are ones that are under contract, okay, to purchase the house, but they have contingencies. Okay, and contingencies can be like inspections or finance or appraisals. All right, that number is 1,339 are active under contract with contingencies. Now, after that, the next status they go to is pending. So we look and see how many in the last 7 days changed their status and went to pending. That number is 382, and that added to the active under contract gives you total of everything that's under contract up here. All right, next thing we're going to look at is withdrawn. Now, these are people that withdrew their listings. They're still active listings, that number 73. They're still active listings, it just can't be shown. And sometimes those people, you know, they're just taking a break, or they're doing repairs, or they got health issues, all kinds of things. Next, we look at how many expired. That number is 185, and those are people that actually the house did not sell and it is off the market. Okay, next we're going to take a look and see what these new homes did, okay? So what we're going to do is look at the new construction and see how many sold in the last 7 days. That number is 101, okay? Next, I take a look at how many of the new homes are active, okay? How many of all the active listings here are of new homes, okay? That number is 1,886. Okay, the next thing I do is I'm looking at the condominiums, okay? I want to see how many condominiums are in the active status. How many of those that are active are condominiums, okay? So we pull that number out, and that number is 906. Next, I take a look at how many condos sold in the last 7 days. How many of those homes of those sold were condos? And that number is 43. All right, next up is what I'll be looking at, those that are in the foreclosure status, okay? So these are, first off, we're going to look at those that are foreclosures, that are active listings that are in the foreclosure status. That number is 257. Next, we look at what's in pre-foreclosure status. And these are all, of course, active listings. That number is 18. And the next is short sales. and that number is 20. All right, now I take all that data and I just export it into this Excel spreadsheet, okay? But then I clean it up into my own Excel spreadsheet to make it look a little easier. Now, while all that data is crunching and working, you know, behind the scenes on the computer right now, we're going to take a look at those interest rates and see what they did over the last 7 days. Okay, here we look at, we've got Mortgage News Daily's rates, and we're looking at the 30-year conventional. Last week we were at 7.1, and look at that, a lot of green arrows. In fact, that one red arrow up was very, very small, so it didn't make much of a difference in going up. But we ended up at 6.92, so that has come down quite a bit from just a week. And what's interesting, take a look at the prior year. Last year at this time, it was 7.03. So we are actually less at this time than we were last year. Okay, next we want to take a look at those FHA rates because they're generally less than the conventional. Okay, here we are looking at the FHA, and last week we were at 6.62. Green arrows, just like the other, we're at 6.5. And if you look, we're just a hair under last year's at this time. Next, we're going to look at those VA rates. Okay, the VA last week, 6.64, and we ended up at 6.51 now. So again, following that trend, going down. And if you look last year, we're just under the last year's numbers there in the prior year column. Okay, now the next thing I look at is a series of charts, which is just basically Jacksonville. That's why sometimes these numbers may be a little bit different than my Excel spreadsheet off a little bit, because this is just Jacksonville only, and my spreadsheet, the Excel, is all Northeast Florida, okay? So here we're going to take a look at the price per square foot. It's been staying flat, I think, for the last 8 weeks, okay? We're waiting to see what it's going to do, if it's, because that's going to give us an indicator of our price is going to go up, or are they coming down? Because, I got a lot of people saying we're still going to crash, okay? Everyone was telling me back, that when I started this show in May of 2022, crash was happening in 2022. Didn't happen. Said it was happening in 2023. Didn't happen. We're in 2024. Will it happen this year? That's what we're looking for. Also, we're going to take a look at those inventory levels and the days on the market and the median price. Okay, so right now let's go see what that square footage is. All right, it has stayed flat. Well, this isn't giving us any indication, huh? I was really hoping for one way or the other, okay? I know a lot of people are hoping for it to go down. Me too, because then more people will buy. And if they buy from me, then I have a good business. All right, so we're stuck here. And what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks. All right, let's look at that chart. We'll look at 1 year back for the folks that want to see. And you see, I mean, it really shows how much that 9 weeks sticks out. I mean, down here at the bottom of the chart was back in the summer, like May and June of last year, when we bottomed out. It really climbed up, and then it's kind of just stayed at the top. Didn't come down like everyone thought it was going to. Everyone thought this chart was going to be flipped and we were going to go down as fast. Hasn't happened. Look at 3 years out and you see that trend from 3 years, and we're just staying kind of at the top of this mountain. All right, let's look at that for sale inventory. 6 months out continues to drop in Jacksonville, and so this is a little puzzling because everything we're seeing now, all the headlines and indicators, and even what we've been seeing from the Northeast Florida of my numbers and charts, showing everything's been gradually going up. But Jacksonville itself, now this is Duval County, has seen a slight decrease, okay? And we'll take a look at 1 year out, and you can see that decrease, okay, it's some, but not a lot, okay? That inventory really shot up, and it's just going down a little bit, all right? When you look at 3 years out, you really see how inventory spiked right there the summer of 2022 and reached its peak in January of 2023. All right, next let's take a look and see what those median prices are. Okay, as we look here, that median price looks like it kind of flattened out. Started going up a little bit and kind of flattened out. All right, as you see, it really dropped, I mean, quite a bit from October of last year. Everyone said this was it, this was it. And then, uh-oh, it had different plans right there. It made the turn around the beginning of this year and just kind of flattened out on us. When you look at it a year back, you see how, man, those prices were at the bottom there in April of 2023. I guess that was the time to buy because everything shot up. Started going down, but again, did not go down as fast as it went up. 3 years back, you see, it just looks like a series of humps there, okay, from that peak in August of 2022. All right, let's look at days on the market. All right, days on the market's dropping. Uh-oh, okay, what does that mean? Sometimes that means there's more multiple offers, okay? Maybe houses are being priced better, okay? And people are scooping them up, thinking that they're gonna go up. I don't know. Let's look at 1 year back and you really see that difference. I mean, back there when we had the lowest time on the market was right there between September and October of 2023. Okay, then it started shooting up. Okay, now we're seeing it go down. All right, we got to watch this. Is it going to go down as fast as it went up there, or is it going to stabilize? These are all things that we watch every week. All right, now I go to my Excel spreadsheet. We're going to go to all those sheets and all those charts to see what happened, decipher everything that we just pulled out of the MLS and more, a lot more. Okay, let's go to that right now. Okay, here we are, week 43 of Bubble Watch, right there, okay, of season 2, okay? We're starting off with the active listings at the top, 7,619. You can see that that is a jump from last week, a pretty good jump, and from the week before. And I did see some other people with some articles and stuff talking about from last year, how much the inventory has jumped from last year. And here you can see in the white column that I've got next to it, that's actually my last year at this time. So last year at this time the inventory was 5,708. So it is a pretty good jump in inventory, but the prices haven't gone down. This is what's screwing people up. It's not following the rules, okay? And then that YOY is the year-over-year percentages. So it actually is up 33% the inventory from last year, okay? That's what I love about my charts. These were numbers that I actually did the show that day, plugged them in, kept them there, and then we calculate the year-over-year. Okay, solds 556. Okay, last week we really soared up there to 608. Okay, so we've dropped this week. All right, we're still above 20% above last year. Okay, those active under contract 1,339 dropped off a little bit. Okay, last week 1,349, but 1,346 before that. So we're still pretty much in there. It hasn't dropped that much. Those that went pending, 382. Now that had a little bit more of a drop, okay? The last couple weeks was in the 400s. So it brings our total 1721, which is still pretty strong. Last year we were at 1618. All right, withdrawals, 73 people, about the same as last week, close to last year. Expired, 185. That's a pretty good jump from last week. That was at 114. And we're up from 161 last year, so that's pretty close. New homes sold in this last week, 101. So we took a hit here, okay? We took a pretty good hit here. Last week it was 171, and the week before that it was 115. So we have seen a drop, even with all their incentives that they're giving out there right now. Although I noticed some of the rate buy downs aren't as great as they were a few months ago, okay? New homes that are active, out of the active listings, how many are new construction homes? And that's 1,886. So that's up a little bit. So if the new home sales are down, then we can expect to see that up. And here what's kind of surprising to me was that The percentage of homes sold that are new dropped to 18%. Look at that. It was almost 30% last week, 27% the week before. A lot of new homes were the big part of the picture. This week it dropped. All right, let's take a look at the condo numbers. All right, since we've had so much interest in the condos, I started doing this. All right, right here we see in this column here, we've got of those that are active, how many are condos? 906. That number's been going up too. Now, could it be part of what's bringing our overall inventory up is because we've got an increase in condos? It can be part of it. Condos sold, okay, last week it fell when everything else went up. And this week, sales went down, but the condos went up the sales, so go figure, all right? The percentage of actives that are condominiums is still pretty close to the same. All right, how did people pay for all this stuff? All right, financing, okay, cash deals, 28%. That's still a large amount. Just think, over 1/4 of all the deals up here are cash deals. Conventionals, 41%, follows the same as the last couple of weeks. FHA, about the same too at 17%. VA dropped from last week and a little bit from 2 weeks ago. Let's see, the week before it was 11, and then before that 14. Other is at 2%, so still surprised to see that other like that. And it's funny, I saw where in the others, when I was looking at the spreadsheet, that there was only one of them, somebody assumed a mortgage. That was an assumable. And those can happen, but they can be difficult to do, and they can take a long time to close. All right, let's look at those foreclosure numbers that I was talking about. Let's scoot this over. Foreclosures jumped. Look at that, to 257 from last week's 235. Pre-foreclosures about the same at 18. Short sales about the same. Total number 295. All right. Now, where did I come up with this 392%? Okay. Well, what I was looking back at was all the way back. Let's see. Well, what was that? December 7th. Okay. I think that was week 30. I don't got the dates on here, so let me go back to my other chart. All right, we're going to see here, where are we? Week 30 was December 7th. There we are. Okay, 23. All right, here in the foreclosures. So when we go back to week 30, okay, right there, you can see that the total number was 60. Okay, now I'm counting everything, not just that top number, 60. All right. And look at the foreclosures was only 21 at that time, okay? And, it stayed like that for a while. Then all of a sudden it started creeping up. You can see where it started creeping up, all right? To where we are now, 295 total, okay? So basically all you're doing is right here, you see 60 plus, 235 point, it comes to 295. So let me do this, all right, because I had already done this before, so that you can see that I'm not making up the numbers. All right, got 60, okay, plus 392%. All right, and that equals 295. Okay, 0.2. So that 0.2. So that we are 392%. Wow, that's huge. All right, next chart we look at here, the percentage of homes that sold for $500,000 and above. And remember, $500,000, folks, is $500,000. We see $400,000-$500,000 homes so common now that people lose track of really how much money that is. It's $500,000. All right, so almost 1/4 of the homes sold are $500,000 and above. All right, homes that sold under list, 72%, dropped a little bit. The percentage of homes that sold at list, 16%, stayed the same. And homes that sold above list, man, even with what's going on right now, 12%. Now, let me comment about that. If those of you that watch the show regularly every week know that a few weeks ago I gave an example of, I was out showing somebody here from Bubble Watch Nation. We were out looking at homes, put an offer above asking price and got beat out. There was 19 offers, got beat out by someone, I don't know how many got beat out by, but it didn't matter. All it takes is one. 19 offers on this one thing. But this is what they're doing, and this could be part of what we're seeing here with this increase. So it's not what it seems to be. Part of the strategy is, say you've got a house that's worth $400,000, okay? You put it out there, and everyone would pay $400 all day long. You put it out there with a list price of like $380. So you're putting it below what it's worth, okay? What is that doing? That's drawing a lot of eyeballs, okay? People are looking, oh, wow, I want to get this. They don't realize that, they're not the Lone Ranger. There's a lot of people looking at this thing, right? So what happens, the strategy is to get all these people in, okay, on a feeding frenzy and drive that price above 400 that it was worth, okay? Which is happening. So this is why I think we're seeing some of these numbers at times go up, like in this case, because people are playing that game with it. And I say game, but it's really a strategy, and it works because the goal is to get the best deal for your seller if you're the listing agent, okay, at the price, and they're doing it. And that also could be why we saw the little dip going down in days on the market, because there's more of this going on. Gotta see, gotta watch it, but I've witnessed it for myself. I'm seeing multiple offers, and I see it from time to time. All right, let's go back to the charts here. Okay, here I look at homes that sold for the 500,000 above, okay, was 23%. Then I look at the ones that sold in the 400s, the percentage of homes that did, 14%, about the same. Homes that sold in the 300s dropped to 26%. Last week it was 30%. Homes that sold in the 200s went up, okay, 24. So is that telling me that we're starting to see people dropping some prices from these like $300,000 homes touching into the 200s now? And then homes that sold below 200, again, that pushed up quite a bit. Last week it was 8%. This week it was 13%. All right, let's look at those new construction numbers. All right, the new homes. All right, here we got homes that sold under list. 68% of the new construction homes sold under list. That's a drop, okay, was 76% last week and 80 before that. Homes that sold at list, 14%. That's up. Homes that sold above list, 19%. Now, I was kind of surprised to see that. Now, they don't do that strategy of dropping the price and running up. They just raise the darn thing, and then the people will buy it. All right. Hey, you know what? This Excel spreadsheet here, my whole sheet, I've got more to show you. We got something else coming up here, MLS Advantage, but I just want to show the people that are new to this show. I go back all the way here. Now this Excel spreadsheet is available for download if you subscribe to my weekly newsletter. And to subscribe to that, all you do is shoot an email here at this email address. Tell me you want to be on the newsletter. I put you on it. It comes out every Tuesday, okay? And let's see. We're going to go to the next item. All right, the next item is what is called MLS Advantage, okay? And what this is up here in Northeast Florida. Now, I'm part of Northeast Florida MLS, which is the largest MLS board up here in this Jacksonville metro area, and it covers a wide area. In fact, it covers 9 counties. Okay, around here basically is this Jacksonville metro and the MLS. Now, there's these smaller boards. They're in like, St. John's or Flagler and some other areas too. But they cross-sell, okay? And so they don't always show up on the Northeast Florida MLS. I also cross-sell into their territories, and so I don't show up on theirs. So to give you an idea of really how many things are happening and being sold, we just look at solds only in this MLS Advantage. That's what I do with that. And then I break it down by counties so we can see what's going on in the different counties, because a lot of people have a big interest in St. Johns County. and Flagler County. Okay, St. John's, a lot of new construction. You got St. Augustine going on there. And Flagler, you got Palm Coast, which is very popular. All right, let's look at the MLS Advantage. All right, here we are, MLS Advantage and the 9 counties: Baker, Union, Bradford, Clay, Nassau, Duval, St. John's, Flagler, and Putnam. So then the next thing we want to do is hit that search button and then watch that wheel spin around to see what our numbers are going to be. And it comes up to 826 properties, okay? So now I'm going to go back to my Excel spreadsheet chart. And this is where we plug all that information in, and look at that. Holy crap. We jumped, okay? Overall, Northeast Florida fell in sales, but when we put in the other boards, we actually jumped, all right? This is why I like the county breakdown, because we're going to take a look at these counties, okay? Also, stick with me. I forgot to tell you. Stick with me because I got an announcement coming up here, okay? Here near the end. All right. Let's look at this. Baker County jumped up, okay, 4 times the amount, okay? 4 sold. Union County cut in half to 1 sold. Last week they were at 2. Bradford at 3, they were a drop from 5, so we're seeing the drops there. Now Clay County went up a little bit, all right? Clay County was down at 66 last week, now it's 80. Nassau County dropped a little too, down to 51. Duval County saw a pretty good increase, yeah. Last week 237, this week 328. St. John's dropped, okay? That's where you got a lot of the new construction, okay, in St. John's, okay? Those new homes are all over the place over there. There's quite a few in Clay too, but most of them in St. John's there. So it dropped last week 223 down to 196. Flagler County, also that's Palm Coast, and they've got new construction going on over there too. And dropped from 134 to 126. And in Putnam County, boy, they came to the table, all right? Last week they were 24, came in at 37 this week. Now I've got question of the week, okay? And remember, stay with me, I got a big announcement coming up. You ain't gonna wanna miss this. Hey, question of the week, this one comes from somebody that is a buyer and a seller, okay? They're got their house up for sale, or they're going to put it up, or it doesn't matter. Some put it up, some are just already have it listed, but it's not under contract. So they ask, because this is kind of the pickle you're in. You need to sell your house, you want to sell, or you want to, but you got to find someplace else to move to, unless you want to throw all your stuff in storage and then pay rent in a hotel or something until you can find something else, all right? So you start looking. All of a sudden you see something like, oh crap, this is the house I want. This is nice. This is it. But man, I still got my house to sell. So they go, can I put an offer on a house before I've got mine sold, before it's even under contract? And the answer simply is yes. Yes, you can. Now, the bigger question is the house you want to buy, is the seller going to accept that contingency to wait until your house goes under contract, okay? It all depends on what kind of activity they're getting. If they're getting activity, they're not likely to do it. Now, let me tell you a couple things. First, if your house is under contract and it's gone past the inspection period, you have a much better chance at getting your offer accepted, okay, at that point, because it looks like you may be going to close. Although, just because it's under contract doesn't mean it's going to close, okay? I just had one fall out here today, okay, and over that, and we were supposed to close, you know, in a couple of days. The next thing, well, you got that, so if you've got that, that's fine. The next thing that can happen is what they call a kick-out clause. And it's exactly as it says, they kick you out. So what happens is you go under contract with the assumption that, okay, that seller can still take in other offers and backups and stuff for people looking at it. And if somebody comes in with an offer that's raised, like say a cash deal, or financing or they can get it done, and you still don't have your house under contract, you have 3 days to clear that contingency, or you get kicked out and they take the other offer. So yes, you can put in an offer, it can happen, and sometimes, you know, people get kicked out with those kickouts, and sometimes they don't. All right, let's go to, you know what, let's go to the houses of the week first, and after I do these houses of the week, then I'll give you my announcement. All right. All right, here we're going to look at a house of the week that sold below, the one that sold below list. Okay, here it is. It's a 2023, okay, 2,280 square foot. It is not new construction, but the people built it and they were living in it to resell it under something. There's some people that do that. They build a house and they live in it until it sells. Okay, so they were actually living on almost 6 acres in Nassau County, okay? It was a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, okay? Okay, here we are. They started off $825,000, ended up selling it for $715,000 and only 26 days on the market. You know, this... You know, I didn't think this was possible like this, that they would take that big of a dip that fast. I've told people you got to kind of wait a little bit, but this here proves me wrong. Someone put in an offer, $715,000, they got it. So they were going for a pie in the sky on this, but believe me, they're not all like this, all right? So, and since this one was, they built the house, and on the land there, we don't have the appreciation calculator on this one, or, you know, what they paid for, because all they paid for was the vacant land. All right, let's go now to the house that, oh, and by the way, that amount there is $110,000 below, and there was no concessions. All right, let's go to the house that sold above. Okay, the house that sold above, here's 1996, 1,764 square feet. Okay, in Duval County, 4-bedroom, 2-bath. All right, $460,000 is what they put it on the market for. This thing, I mean, went right away. Okay, they ended up selling it for $480,000, but let's look at the history. All right, there we are. They at $460,000 had an open house right away. So I guess what I'm thinking is they got, the person came to the open houses who put the offer in, because it's saying 0 days on the market, but technically it's 1. And someone came there and just said, hey, listen, I'll give you $480,000 right now. You take it. And I guess they said, sounds good to me. Now all they did was give a $500 concession. I don't know. That was, I guess, for them to go out to dinner. Yeah, I mean, that's wild. Now this could be one of those where they priced it low, a little bit lower, and knew and had the open house the same day. You don't see that often either. But I think they probably drew a crowd. It was probably a 3-ring circus at this place, and well, you know, mission accomplished. All right, now before I tell you what's up, okay, what I've got going on, I want to show you a headline. All right, let's check out this headline. Okay, this one was actually sent in to me by somebody here in Bubble Watch Nation. Okay. Florida condo prices are falling as cost of insurance and HOA fees skyrocket. Okay, this is a big problem. Okay, there's also a new law that went into effect here in Florida, and it, you know, it's going to require these condos that are 3 stories or above to actually start, you know, putting, you know, collecting money for the estimated cost of repairs, what they estimate down the road. But they've got to pay for an engineer to come out and do all this and then estimate what the costs are. Oh, it's a mess. Where before they didn't have to do all that, and now they have to. Now that's 3 stories and above, so the 1- and 2-story condos don't have to go by that law there. But there has been such a problem, as you can see here, this part here. In the Jacksonville metro, for instance, the median condo price declined roughly 7% year over year, and January sales declined 27%, and new listings increased 30%. Story similar in Miami, so it's around. But I'm telling you, these HOA fees have really taken off because, you know, what's in there is about the insurance and also this repair thing. Hey, you know what? While we're at it here, if you like the way I put this show together and all these numbers and how I format it, then give me a thumbs up. There's this one person out there who gives me a thumbs down every week. So why the hell are you watching the show? All right. But whatever. But if you like the way I put this together, then give me a thumbs up. It helps. And then even better than that too, I mean, like if you want to be, you know, keep up with everything on my channel, because my channel has a lot more than Bubble Watch, then just hit the subscribe button and be a subscriber to the Bubble Watch Nation. And better yet, if you're looking to relocate into this area or even relocate out, I do buying and selling, and you'd like to use me, you know, for your agent to help you with relocating here or moving out of here, whichever one it is, then just give me a call or text at this number or shoot me an email at this email that you see here. I love it when I get people from this show that, you know, we meet in person, you know, and they go out looking for houses, and some of them sell houses too. All right, the announcement. This is what I'm going to do. It ties in with that article, condos. Right now, the condos have become such a big deal. I'm getting more people asking me about condos too and stuff like that. I think a lot of people are waiting to see, okay, is there going to be a collapse in the condo prices to buy in? The only problem is, all right, you get that cheaper, you know, cost to get into the condo, but then what's going to happen with the price monthly payment with these HOA fees? So what I'm doing, there's so much information, I don't want to turn this into a 2-hour show, so I am creating a separate, an offshoot Bubble Watch, and this is going to be the new Bubble Watch. This is the new show, Bubble Watch Condo Edition, okay? It is going to come out on Mondays at 6:30. Regular Bubble Watch will stay the same. All the charts will stay the same. And what I'm going to do is this one here, I'm just going to take out the condo information. So what it's going to be is it's going to be, you know, kind of just like, you know, this as far as the charts. Not completely. There's some things that I won't be doing. But I will be doing a condo of the week, you know, below list and above list. I'll be doing the comparisons, the charts, pulling the data in the MLS, be looking at it, and it's going to be data that I pull from at the same time that I'm running this show. It's just that it's too much for me to do 2 shows at once like this, so I'll sort out all that data, put it together. But it'll be Monday nights at 6:30 for the Bubble Watch Condo Edition. Okay, so look forward to that on Monday nights. All right. Hey, you know what? This is week 43 and it's in the can. And what does that mean? That means until Condo Edition, I'm out of here.